Hello, hello, and welcome to another episode of the Empowering Lives Through an Online Business. And today we are on episode 11, and here is today's topic.
Our topic today is courage to start. Courage to start. Why done is better than perfect.
Yeah, so that's what we're going to be talking today. But before we dive into our topic, let us introduce ourselves. So, hi everyone. My name is Sandy. I'm originally from Panama, but currently residing in Surrey, British Columbia, Canada. I also work in the movie industry, and I'm a proud digital business owner and mentor.
Hello everyone, I'm Catherine Ohimine. I'm originally from Nigeria, currently residing in South Australia. I'm a mom of three and I run this business full time from home.
Hello, everyone. My name is Isabel. I am originally from Mexico, but I live in North Carolina, USA. I am a wife, a mother of three, a grandmother, a proud digital business owner, and a mentor.
So we also want to remind everyone that every Tuesdays and every Thursdays we have our live webinars. So if you want to learn how you can start your online business and start earning online, all you have to do is register into any of the websites that appear on the screen, put your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation to watch the webinar. In this case, you will be catching yesterday's live webinar. So when you register into our website, you will receive an email that will contain two links. So the first one is to register to the live webinar. So that one will take you to a page that will have two buttons, one for Tuesday, one for Thursday in North America, and then the other one is Wednesday and Fridays for Australia. Um, so when you register into that one, is our live webinars in North America is 5 p.m. PST and 8 p.m. EST. And in Australia is at what times is?
10:30 AEDT.
There you go. So, and it's every Fridays and Wednesdays and Fridays in Australia. Um, and then well, the second link that you get there is the link to the replay of the live webinar. So just in case you cannot attend to the live webinar, that's not a problem. You can always catch the replay and watch it from the comfort of your own home. In addition to that, you also get invited to our private Facebook group where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. Now, you're probably wondering what is it that you are going to find out on the webinar. So, on the webinar, you're going to find out how our online business plan works. And also, you get to hear from the panelists, which are members of our community, who will be sharing with you why they decided to start their online business and how this online business has transformed their lives. So, let's find out who were the hosts and panelists from yesterday's live webinar.
Okay, so yesterday we had our live webinar, and our host was Malu. She's a banker, risk compliance professional. We also had Stephanie. She's a flight attendant. Uh, Habibet is a retired healthcare IT consultant. And Asuka is a freelance translator.
Yeah, we also had Benita, a former crisis welfare officer, and Marijo, SPED teacher, and finally we had Ida, a healthcare assistant.
Yeah, so if you're catching the replay of yesterday's live webinar, our replays have subtitles in several languages, and our live webinar has subtitles in five languages: the Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. So there you go. So if you want to learn how to start your online business, that's all you have to do is just register into any of the websites that appear on the screen with your name and email address, and we'll send you that invitation. All right, so let's find out what is our topic for today.
Topic for today is courage to start. Why done is better than perfect.
Yes, so that's what we're going to be talking today. So welcome back to another episode of the Empowering Lives Through an Online Business. So today we are speaking directly to the dreamers, the planners, the overthinkers, and the perfectionists. We have all been there. Okay, so our topic is courage to start. Why doing is better than perfect? Because the biggest difference between those who succeed and those who stay stuck isn't the skill or the experience, is the courage to begin. So that's what, many times, make us feel stuck. Um, so let's be honest. How many times have you said, I'm waiting until I'm ready? Or I just want to make sure everything is perfect. Or I need to figure out, everything first. Um, so I've been there. I've been saying all those three, sometime in my life. So I do relate to those ones. But let us ask you this. What if ready never comes? Okay, so what if waiting for perfect is the very thing holding you back? And the truth is, actions creates clarity, not the other way around. So progress beats perfection every time. So instead of waiting for that perfect time, just take action. And even though it's not perfect, but it's moving you forward instead of staying
Mhm.
stuck in one place waiting for the perfect time. So when we started our online business, we didn't have it all figured out. Okay, so we made mistakes, we stumbled over our words, we didn't know how to run ads or talk on camera, especially looking at where you're supposed to look in camera. But we said yes anyway. And guess what? It was messy, it was imperfect, and completely worth it. Because, uh, if we had waited for everything to be perfect, probably wouldn't be here today, because we'll be still waiting, until, everything is perfect. So um, we have to, start, even if it is messy, even if it is imperfect, but at least, start and then adjust as you go, you know, and learn what you have to learn as you go, but don't stay stuck. So, what are today's point?
Okay, so today we have 3 points. Number one, starting before you're ready um, builds confidence. Number two, perfectionism is fear in disguise. And number three, the first version won't be perfect, and that's okay. So stay tuned. We're going to talk more about these 3 points.
Yeah. So, let's start with the first point.
Yeah, so starting before you're ready builds confidence. Indeed, you don't wait for confidence to act. You build confidence through taking action. Each time you show up, you prove to yourself that you can. That's how belief grows. And indeed, like you said, it's when you start, it's in taking action that you build momentum, that you build confidence. Imagine trying to build a muscle just by wishing or thinking or waiting for the perfect time. You have to get in the gym, you have to start exercising, and gradually you build. Of course, when you start, it hurts a little bit, but then over time, you get comfortable in the system. Yeah, so that's how to build confidence.
Yeah, so starting before you're ready builds confidence. This is so true in so many things in life. Like, us immigrants that came from other countries, like when we first started learning English, for example, I remember when I was learning, every time I said something, because something happened to me, I said something like I used a word instead of another one, and then everybody kind of made fun of me, and they're like, can you say it again, can you say it again? And I said it, and then they were laughing. And so that, made me overthink everything. After that, every time I was saying something, I just used to look around to see if people were gonna, have a reaction, like a funny reaction. So, you have to build the confidence, and how you do that, through repetition, through practice, doing it every day, one after another. And yes, the first times they're not going to be perfect. They're going to be messy. They're going to be, sometimes funny. And, after time, when you look back at those moments, you're going to be laughing yourself, thinking about what you said or what you did. And that's okay. It's part of life. Life is always about learning. And, confidence is not going to come unless you start, and you start repeating or doing it over and over again.
Yeah, thank you for sharing that, Kathy and Isabel. Um, yeah, just to add, like Kathy mentioned something about, like it kind of sounds like you have to be uncomfortable to be comfortable. So you have to, even though
Mhm.
you don't have that confidence, just keep doing it, and then eventually, you're gonna be feel comfortable. And Isabel also touched something that it reminded me, I used to live in back east in Canada, and over there is French. So I did all my high school in French, and yes, I learned English, but it was like a second language. So my English wasn't that great, but and I didn't like to speak it in Montreal, because when I spoke English, and my friends say, oh, you sound so cute, and so I didn't like that. But so when we moved to from Quebec to Vancouver, we didn't travel through Canada, we actually traveled through the US by car. So my parents didn't speak English, so my sister and I were the only ones. So guess what, we have to face, that fear, and start speaking English, because we were the ones who were translated to our parents. So even though, we were scared, we had to do it. So um, you have to face your fears to be able to,
Mhm.
to be comfortable. And by just practicing and practicing, you start building that confidence. Even if the my English wasn't that great at the time, but uh, I had to do it. No choice. And that, by doing it, I started to gain more confidence. Um, but yeah, so I just wanted to relate to this. You have to take action. You cannot stay in that comfort zone if you want to grow. So that's the only way that you can grow, by taking action. Otherwise, you stay stuck. Okay, so second point.
Okay, so the second point, perfectionism is fear in disguise. So perfection often masks a deeper fear, fear of judgment, failure, not being good enough. But the only failure is not starting. Done is better than perfect because done moves you forward. And we were just talking about all those things, and if we didn't take that risk at the beginning, like to put ourselves out there to like learn a different language, get a routine going in the gym or doing our business and coming out doing these lives every time, we wouldn't be here because we would be waiting on perfection. And the truth is, you're not going to be perfect at something the first time. That's like kind of impossible, for you to do something for the first time perfect, because perfection comes with time, like we said at the beginning. It comes with repetition, it comes with practice. So you don't have to be afraid to take action. It does come with a little fear. When you get into something unknown, completely unknown, that you have never done, you're gonna have a little bit of fear, but that's okay. They say that when you're feeling that fear, is because it's time to jump in. So you never know what's on the other side unless you actually take that jump and see for yourself what's on the other side. So failure is just part of life. We all have done things wrong at some point, and that doesn't mean that we never did them again. We just you know practice, or maybe we took a different approach the second time, but we for sure did the same thing at another time. So the same thing comes to this business. Fear is holding us back to a better version of ourselves. I know that when you haven't done social media, when you haven't done a business, it seems like a lot at the beginning. And that's what a lot of people overthink. Like they'll be overthinking, like, I want to do it, but I don't want to do social media. I don't want to be in front of a camera. I can't really talk or whatever. We couldn't either. We couldn't do it the first time either, but we did it with time. When you start something and you practice and practice, you're gonna do it. So don't be afraid to make that decision. Make it, and that decision is the one that is gonna move you forward. And you're gonna be so happy that you took that decision, or that you took that action later on. Because yes, fear is just something that's there to hold you back from growing, you know. And I'm sure that we have all had fears in our lives at some point, but we face some, and some we, till this point, we haven't. So don't be afraid of fear. It's just something that is holding us from actually finding our full potential.
Isabel, fear, people, when we talk about fear, people think it's something abstract or it's not real, right? It's okay to recognize your fears. In fact, I believe that if you recognize your fears, you're halfway to solving that
Yes.
problem. Because when people say, I'm waiting for the perfect time. Oh, give me, let me start on Monday. You want to do something and it is Tuesday and you think that the best time to start would be Monday at the beginning of the week. That's fear maxing up as perfectionism. You want to get it right from day one. I don't believe that there's any such thing as perfection. I believe we are all striving towards it, but there's never going to be that perfect time, that perfect moment to start. And that's the reason why we celebrate action takers in our business, because it is the action that you take that gets you from point A to point B. And it is in doing that you get perfect, that you get better. You master the act. You don't master the act by just wishing it or waiting for that perfect. You just say, I think it's every Monday. Monday will be the best time. It's a scam. Don't do it. Don't think of it that way. Be open-minded, be willing to overcome your fear, recognize it as, I think I'm scared. I think, but I want to face it. I want to face this fear. And every time you face your fear, you become better and you give birth to a better version of yourself.
Thank you, Isabel. Thank you, Kathy. I do relate to this point. I think this is one of the things that it kind of like hold me back. So I was one of those stuck in the at the beginning, because um, first of all, I don't like to see myself in front of the camera or video. So, and especially like fear of judgment, what people are gonna think, or failure. So I was struggling with those things at the beginning. Um, what other people might think, but with time I was able to overcome. From time to time that comes again. I can, like, and I can try to overcome, but um it's something that you have to do it. And then because really, that's the only way that you're going to learn. For example, a good example of this is when they criticize your video ad. you know you feel so proud, and then they tell you, okay, this is not good, this is not good. So you have to, learn to accept criticism, because that's what is going to help you to grow. um so that's one of the things that, you gotta face your fear, you gotta overcome that, because that's gonna hold you back. And a good example of this, it's creating those video, like my story, for example. I was struggling with my story because I didn't think that it was good, enough, because I was also comparing to other people. And that's one of the mistakes that we also do. So I was holding on my story, I was holding on creating my video ad, because I didn't have a story, because I thought that, my story was not uh valid compared to the other ones, because the other ones were more powerful. But in reality, it doesn't really matter, because um there's someone out there that will connect to my story. So don't hold yourself back to think, what other people might think, because yes, there might be other people that might say things, but not everyone will say it. So just ignore those ones, those comments, and just go for the other ones. So but don't hold yourself just to think, what other people are gonna think. Just do it, just do it. and learn as you go, learn from your mistakes, and that's how you're gonna be growing. So it's better, like it says here, done is better than perfect, because done moves you forward. And that's why I was stuck for a while, because I wasn't moving forward, because I didn't want to create a story, because I didn't think it was powerful. So you have to do it. If it doesn't work, you keep trying, but don't
Trying.
stay there. So point number 3.
Yeah, the first version won't be perfect, and that's okay. That's what we've been saying, Your first go live won't be the best one. Your first post, your first email, first try, it will be awkward. But no one becomes great by avoiding the beginning. You get better by doing, by learning, and by showing up. you know, um, your first go live is not going to be perfect. I can testify to that.
We all,
I
I think.
Yeah.
Yes, your first post, your first email, your first try, your first video. I didn't like my voice when I started this business. Like growing up, I never knew I had a problem with the way I sounded until it was time to make a video. And I did not like my voice at all. When I talk, I feel like, no. And then I contacted a voiceover artist, and she gave me her price list and said, well, she's going to charge me whatever content she creates for me. I can only use it for maybe like 3 months, and then it expires and I have to renew. And my husband said something. He said, is everyone in this business using a voiceover artist? He said, how many content is she going to create for you? I thank God so much for him because he helped me build that confidence. I didn't like, I'll make a post, I'll delete it because I wanted it to be perfect. But you know what? I was comparing my journey with people who have been in the business. So when I go to their pages and see what they're doing, how they post and everything, I felt like, oh, mine is not good enough. It took time for me to start growing confidence, and I kept posting and trying and getting. Today I go to my page and I've been able to build a brand for myself. I now know what colors I like. I now know what speaks to my person. I now know, and all of those things happened because I kept trying. I didn't give up, even though my journey didn't start, like, it wasn't perfect, but I kept building myself. When I started doing go lives, I would do it and no, and never watch it again. My first go live, I hid it after the go live. But I thank God today, and that's the beauty of trying. That's the beauty of staying persistent in whatever you're doing. Have the willingness to learn. Don't seek perfection from day one, and never compare yourself with other people because you don't know how they started. We all started from the same place, but you're seeing somebody else where they have built their business too, and you want to compare it to your start. Everyone is going to have their little beginning. Everyone is going to make mistakes, and it is okay. It is okay to make mistakes. You build perfection over time.
Yes, most definite in anything, in life. The first version won't be the perfect one, and that's okay. That's fine, I like this here, no one became or becomes great by avoiding the beginning. So don't avoid the beginning. Everything is just gonna be the way it's going to be, I was laughing because my first go live, I couldn't, I pressed the go live. It took me a while to decide to press it. And when I finally did, I completely froze. The words couldn't come out and nothing. As soon as I pressed, go live, I was there for I don't know how many seconds, and then I pressed it again and I went out because I couldn't do anything. And then that happened, I believe it was like on a Friday. And then on that next Monday, I'm like, you got to try again, you got to try again. So I tried it. I was able to talk, but I never noticed that I was holding my breath. I wasn't breathing the whole time. And then at some point you could see that I went, you know. So it, and that's okay. We all feel awkward at the beginning, when we're doing this business, but we're not doing it to become famous. We're not doing it to show people that we're the best talkers, that we're the best looking, or whatever it is. We're doing it because we're looking for a better lifestyle for us and for our families. We're looking for that time freedom. We want to be owners of our own business. We want to be the one who decides the hours that we work, what we do during the day. Like today, this morning I got up really early in the morning. I had to help my daughter move out of college, because she's done with college, so she was moving out. And while I was helping her move, I got a notification from the automated system saying I had a lead. So that's how our system works. It works in the background. You don't have to be on your phone or your computer all day for the system to work. And this is something that we don't really understand at the beginning too. And we want results, and we want everything to start and to take off the first second we start the business, but that's not how it works. So we have to put our work in, and we have to build ourselves. That's very important. You have to build yourself. And how you do that? You do it through going through all these uncomfortable things that we're talking about. We're gonna feel awkward, we're gonna make mistakes, we're not gonna know how to do so many things, but that's okay. No one becomes great by avoiding the beginning. You just have to show up every day and keep learning and keep pushing yourself. Don't give up at the first obstacle, at the first setback, because then why did you push yourself at the beginning if you're going to give up after you find an obstacle? Once you start, I think the beginning is the hardest part, but once you start,
Yeah.
you just keep pushing yourself every day, and you're like, okay, today I learned this. But for me, at the beginning it was hard, but after, the learning curve, I was already in love with the business, because I was learning so much, and it was giving me the confidence that I didn't have, because I was gaining skills. So every day I was looking forward to the next day already. I'm like, what am I going to learn today? So that's what it takes. It just takes uncomfort to become, the best version of yourself. And you just have to keep pushing every day, keep having an open mind, about, okay, I'm not going to do it as perfect as somebody else that has been doing this for a while. And like Kathy said, we're always comparing ourselves to other people, or at least to some point. After a while, we also gain that confidence, and we stop comparing ourselves. But at the beginning, it's easy to say, so and so is doing so much better, their stuff looks so good, and we just think like everybody else is more perfect than we are, that they're value more than we are. But you just have to go through the process, really, and find, that brand that you're trying to connect with, because when you have connection with it, then when it speaks to you, then I'm sure that after that it speaks to the people that you're trying to connect as well.
Yeah, thank you, Cassie. Thank you, Isabel. Um, yeah, like I was listening today, early this today in morning, and they were talking about this. We like most of us humans, we're so used to get things fast, like we want things right now, but that's not how it works. There is a process that you have to go through, and that's why you really need to enjoy and to believe that process, to be able, to get the results that you want. But we so conditioned that we want to see everything right now. So if we don't see it right now, okay, let's go to another something else, because we tend to look for the easy way out. But if you stick into what you're doing, yes, you might take a little more time, but eventually, you're gonna have create that life kind of style that you wanted, instead of someone who started the same and they say, oh no, this is not for me, I cannot continue this, and then they go and do something else, Yeah, they might make money faster than you, but eventually will stay there, no more. While we took our time, but we continue building and increasing that. So that's the difference. So, like is mentioned before, you have to be uncomfortable at the beginning to be comfortable later on to enjoy. You have to enjoy that process, and you have to understand that things doesn't happen right away. You have to go through a process to be able to enjoy later. um, and yes, and when we start, like everyone mentioned here, um, we tend to compare, because that's one of the first mistakes that we do when we start this journey, compared to others. But we tend to forget that, you know what, they started 3 or 5 years before us, so they build it, to have that success. So we cannot compare ourselves that we just started to them, but at the moment, because we're new, we want to see results fast. We don't see that, but later on as we go, because we learn from our mistakes, and then we understand, it takes some time. But that's part of, the learning curve. Um, and and yes, we're gonna make mistakes. For example, like, sending emails. I remember when I was replying to emails or messages, I wasn't replying the proper way because I didn't know. But as I went through, as I attended, our mastermind trainings, I learned how to answer to an email, and that's part of the learning curve. That's part of the process. You, as you go through your journey, you keep growing, you keep getting knowledge, you keep building that confidence. But it takes time. It doesn't happen right away. So we just have to understand that, that our first version, won't be perfect, but you're gonna build it as you go, and it will become better. So it takes time. So just be patient with yourself, patient with the journey, and just enjoy it. And it will happen for you. Okay, so what is the bonus point for today?
Our bonus point for today is clarity comes after action. You don't need a perfect plan. You need to take the next step. Action reveals what works, it opens doors, it builds momentum. Start where you are, use what you have, and trust that it's enough to begin. That's all it takes. Start from where you are. That's all you have to do. Just take the next step.
Yes. And what is the key takeaway from our topic today?
You don't have to be fearless to begin. You don't have to be, you just have to be willing. Willing to show up messy, willing to grow as you go, willing to take the first imperfect step, because nothing changes until you start.
Yes. And what is our message to the audience?
Okay, so this message is for you. If you've been waiting for the perfect time or the perfect version of yourself, this is your sign. Start anyway. Comment courage below or message us to watch our free info session. Done is better than perfect because done changes your life. So we'll be waiting for your comments, and we'll be happy to get back with you.
Yes, and we have arrived to our end of our lives. So we hope so that you got inspired with what we shared today. We shared a little bit of our journey, here in the online business, and to relate it, to the topic that we are sharing. But this not only applies, to like the online business, but also, to your personal life.
Mhm.
So you can implement that to that too. So if you have any comments of something that you like about the life topic that we shared today, or if you want to share any experience, like we shared today, just put it in the comment and we'll be happy to read them. Saying that, if you want to learn more about this online business opportunity, here are 3 ways that you can do that. So you can either put in the comments more info, or you can send us a private message and we'll be happy to answer any questions that you might have. Or you can also register directly into our website, and we can send you the link to register for the live webinar, and you can catch the replay of yesterday's before next Tuesday's live webinar. So that way you can watch it before the live webinar. So when you register into our website, you will receive an email that will contain two links. So one for to register to the live webinar. So in North America is Tuesdays and Thursdays, and in Australia is Wednesdays and Friday. So North America is 5 p.m. PST, 8 p.m. EST, and in Australia is
10:30 a.m. AEDT.
there you go. So, so if you can just register for either one or for both, and if you cannot attend to the live webinar, that's not a problem. You can always catch the replay, and that will be our second link on the email, so you can watch it from the comfort of your own home. In addition to that, we also invite you to our private Facebook group where you get to see more success stories from members of our community and more information about the business. So you're probably wondering, okay, so what is it that we are going to find out on the webinar? So on the webinar, you're going to find out how our online business plan works. And also you get the opportunity to hear from the panelists, which are members of our community, who will be sharing with you why they decided to start their online business and how this online business has transformed their lives. So if you want to catch the replay before next Tuesday's live webinar, here were the hosts and panelists for that day.
Yeah, so last webinar, which was yesterday in Australia, our main host was Malu. She's a bank risk compliance professional. We also had Stephanie, a flight attendant, Habibat, a retired healthcare IT consultant, and Azuka, a freelance translator.
Okay, we also had Venita. She's a former crisis welfare. Um, Mari Mariejo is a SPEN teacher, and Aida is a healthcare assistant. So, if you want to learn more about our business, don't forget to register on any of the websites you see on the screen. And we have these live webinars every Tuesday and Thursday at 5 p.m. Pacific time and 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yes. So if you're catching the replay before next Tuesday's live webinar, our replays have subtitles in several languages, and our live webinar has subtitles in 5 languages: that's Spanish, French, Tagalog, Vietnamese, and Arabic. So there you go. So that's how, if you want to learn how to start your online business, those are the 3 ways. So either put in the comments more info, or send us a private message, or just register into our website directly. Now, if you guys are watching us from Facebook and you guys are not following us, you can follow us up here on the top to get to know us a little bit more, who we are and what type of content we put in our pages, more information about the business. If you're watching us from YouTube and you haven't subscribed to our channel, you can subscribe to our channel and press that notification bell to get notified when we put new content and when we are going live. So that way you keep learning more about this online business opportunity. And when you feel ready, we'll be happy here to guide you along the way. So we as mentors, we are with you along the journey. So you're never alone in this journey. You have us, you have a coach, and you have an entire global online community that will provide you support. So no one is left behind. So we all reach, where we want to go. So saying that, let's find out what is our topic for next Friday.
The topic for next Friday is work from anywhere. How to embrace the digital nomad lifestyle. Exactly what we're doing.
Yes, so that's what we're going to be talking. So we'll talk about the tools, the mindset, and systems to take your business on the road. So that's the topic for next Friday. So don't miss it. Um, it's a good one. I'm sure a lot of people would like to have that kind of style. That's what I was looking for me, 5 years before I found this opportunity. I saw those digital nomads on YouTube and I said, I want that kind of lifestyle, but I didn't know how to. So I finally found out how. So yeah, so we want to wish everyone a happy and blessed Friday for those who are Friday, and a happy and blessed Saturday for those who are on Saturday, and a happy and blessed weekend for everyone. Um, thank you for everyone that has watched the live with us today. For those catching the replay, thank you so much. And to our followers, thank you so much for being part of our journey, for believing in us, and for engaging with our content. We do have some like emojis here from Kulwa, Muasembe, Accurate Right Fault, and Billion Boy. So thank you for all your like emojis. And so we have arrived to the end. So hope so that you really enjoy and learn something today with us. Um, so stay tuned for next Friday or Saturday in Australia.
Yeah.
um,
Uh,
so yeah, so
see you.
thank you for being here with us today, and until the next episode of the Empowering Lives Through an Online Business. So thank you for watching, and God bless you all.
Bye,
Bye.
guys. Have a great weekend.
Yeah, you too.